Hello everybody, it's Anne from Anne's Stampin' Up. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Simcoe, Ontario, and if you live in Canada and you don't have your own demonstrator, feel free to shop with me. You can reach me at stampsandtea@gmail.com, or my demonstrator website is stampsandtea.stampinup.net. So as I say, welcome everybody. It's a beautiful day here in Simcoe. It's a little hot, but it's beautiful. Today we're going to use a stamp set that I think has been overlooked in the catalogue. It's called Ranunculus Romance, and it's a beautiful set. I've turned the camera down and we're now looking at the annual catalogue, and on page 97 we've got this lovely set called Ranunculus Romance, and it has a beautiful flower in. A ranunculus is almost like a rose, different shaped leaves but almost like a rose. It's beautiful and it comes in many colours. Has 3 or 4 nice sayings and some lovely little bits, that you could stamp elsewhere, just to make a nice card. It's on page 97 and the stamp set is $32. Like, for $32, that's a beautiful stamp set. You can also buy the dies that go with it. These are the dies. Cuts out all the flowers and leaves and things there, but you also have a couple of extra dies where you would cut out like a huge flower like this. That's that die there, so it cuts out this really large flower, which is lovely. The dies themselves are $44, so for $66 you've got a beautiful set of stamps and dies. The other thing which I think is often overlooked in the catalogue are the markers. The markers are $174, which is a lot, but they last. They've got dual points on them, they have a brush tip and they have a pencil tip. They last forever. You can refill them with your re-inkers, so don't think because your marker's dry you're done with them. So let me get started. What we've got here is we're going to make a tall card today, and what we've got is a piece of gorgeous grape, and it is 8.5 inches by 7 inches, scored at 3.25, scored at 3.5. Got a piece of vellum for the front of the card, which is 8.5 by 3, which will give us a 1/4 inch either side, and a piece of Very Vanilla for the inside, and I cut that to 8.5 by 3 as well, just to keep it consistent with the front of the card. We've got a scrap for stamping the sentiment. We've got a regular number 10 envelope. We've got some stamps and dies, as I say. We're going to use this beautiful stamp today, and we're going to cut it out. Now I've got a scrap here to colour and cut it, so let me just show you how we're going to do that. So I've mounted the stamp on the on the block, same as you always do, and I'm going to use my markers to colour it. We're going to stamp that and we're going to put it on the envelope. We're going to put it on the inside of the card just to tie everything in together. Turn that way. Just to tie everything in together, and then we're going to stamp it 5 times to go on the front of the card. Now 5 times, and cut it out to put it on the front of the card, because it's going to go all the way up the card. If I were making a standard 5.5 by 4.25 card, I would only cut this out 3 times, but I'm going to cut it out 5 times, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to colour it. I have my markers here. I've got Gorgeous Grape, I have Highland Heather, and I have Pear Pizzazz. So you've got on the stamp itself, you've got a large flower, a smaller flower, and a bud. So I'm going to colour the large flower one colour and the buds in another colour. Okay, so let me just make sure I've got my brush tip, which it shows you on the marker. It's a brush, not a pencil point. And I'm just going to colour on the stamp itself. Now I've got to make sure I get right to the ends of the flower, because I don't want my flower cut off. And I'm just scribbling all over it. like that. And I'm going to take the light colour, brush tip again, make sure I get right to the edges of the flower, right to the and the bud. Yep, and then I've got my brush tip again for my flower stems and my leaves. And I'm just doing this quickly, colouring all over, making sure I get right to the edges of the leaves because I don't want to miss any. And there's just a little bit of stem in there that I don't want to miss. Put them further up quickly again. And I'm going to huff on it. That's me breathing on it. So we're going to stamp this on the corner of the envelope. Just like that. Isn't that beautiful? That's lovely. We're going to do the same thing again for the inside of the card. And we've got the gorgeous grape. And I'm just going to colour it the same way, keeping the colours the same, the flower the same. Now when I did the flowers for when I do the flowers for the front of the card, I'm going to alternate them. Some flowers, the big flower will be the darker colour, some the lighter colour, and the buds will be dark. There you go, just getting all over this right to the edges. Leaves, right to the edges of everything, don't miss the stems. Remembering those little bits up there. Huff on it, which is just really breathing on it. And I'm going to stamp this on the bottom of the inside of the card. There it is, lovely again. Put that out of the way. And then the flowers that are going to go on the front of the card, and I need to do this 5 times. So I'm going to change up the colours. Some, as I say, are going to be the dark purple, which is the gorgeous grape, and then others will be the lighter, which is the Highland heather. Just dry that off. Right. So we're going Highland heather for the big flower this time. Right to the edges. Because we don't want to miss any of the flower. And then the darker buds, the smaller flower and the bud are going to be the darker colour. And as I say, you're going to do this 5 times and cut them out. So I'm just going to show you this once because I've already cut the others out. There, lovely. Now while we're stamping, we might as well stamp on a scrap. We're going to stamp the what is it, the sentiment, which says "Just for you." It's from this stamp set, and I'm just going to put this here. There is my sentiment stamped, and I just wanted to do that to show you, to show you how this was with an ink pad, this was with the markers, and it really is exactly the same. There's no difference to it. So I'll pop that over to the side, put the markers out of the way. We'll bring in the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss. We'll put it to the side for a second, and we're going to use this die here, which is the die for the flower. And let me get a plate. I'm going to put this right over the flower and hold it with some washi tape. And it lines up lovely, it really does. Just a little piece of tape to hold it there. A little piece across the stem. Looks pretty good. I'll put these in the mini cut and emboss. Stagger in the plates as always. There. And there it is cut out. So as I see, some of my flowers have the large flower for the large flower in the lighter colour, and some have the darker colour for the centre. I've got 3 and 2, three with the light colour and 2 with the dark colour in the centre. So now we're going to assemble the card. So we have, as I see this, oops, that's my sentiment. We've got the card, we've got the vellum, and we're just putting the vellum like this, and it's just for a background, just for some contrast. Okay, now you know when you glue vellum, you put adhesive on the back of vellum, you can always see it through the vellum. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my flowers on my card first, on the vellum first, glue them down, and what I'm going to do is I'm only going to glue from the middle of the large flower down the stem. Okay, this little flower at the top, I want to pop it up on a mini dimensional so that it gives it some dimension to the card. So we'll take the vellum first, put my adhesive from the middle of the large flower down to the bottom, down the stem. Doesn't matter if you've got a little bit sticking over the edge. And I think if you go about a ½ an inch from the top, let's have a look, and put it on an angle sort of over to the side. You can't really see my vellum there. Let's put it on that and you can see it now. Okay, and put it over to the side. The other one is going to go this way, then this way. So that's a dark flower in the centre. I'm going to use a light flower. Same again, adhesive from the middle of the large flower. Whoops, where's my vellum on here? Now I know it would be easier to glue the vellum down first, but you want to be sure that you cannot see your adhesive behind. So that's why I'm really doing this the hard way. Oops, a little piece I didn't punch out there. There it is. And I'm just alternating these flowers on the way down. Dark one here, I think. A light one. There, so there's all my flowers on my glued down to my vellum. Now I've got a spot on the back where I can see, when I turn this over, where I can put my adhesive to stick the vellum down to the card, and you won't see it from the front side. So I'm going to put a big strip right down the middle, but then I'm going across here like this. I hope I'm getting adhesive on this. Let me just put this on my pad. Yep, I am. And across there and across there. Now that vellum is going to be glued well down. It's not going to come off your card. It's going to go from the top of your card, right from the top edge, and you'll have about a 1/4 inch either side. for a margin. And down it goes. Let me turn this over and press it from the back so I'm not scrunching up my flowers. There, that's lovely. So now we had stamped Just For You, okay, and we're going to use the double oval punch to punch this out. We're going to punch a little circle here. There. And we're going to punch the scalloped circle from a piece of the gorgeous grape. This is going on here just like this. There. And then we'll bring in some dimensionals. Now I've got some mini dimensionals and some regulars. The mini dimensionals I'm going to put behind these petals so that I can pop them up. Okay. So I'm taking off the backing from the dimensional. Just drop it there. Where is it? And then find the one I took the backing off. Just pop this up a little bit. Stick the dimensional right in the back there. There. So if you could see, these flowers here are not down flat on the card, they're popped up a little bit on dimensionals. And we'll put some, let me get these out of the way, we'll put this on a couple of dimensionals just like this. Put it in the middle and keep it about a ½ inch from the bottom. Yep, there, that looks great. And then to finish it off, this is iridescent rhinestones. There, so that just finished the front of the card. And we'll put this on the inside. And there again, this is 8.5 by 3 inches, so you'll have about a 1/4 inch either side for a border, and that just keeps it sort of in line with the front of the card. There's your card. There is your envelope that matches, and there's the inside of your card with lots of room to write. That is a lovely card. Now you can use any colours to make that. You really can. I made it before in Flirty Flamingo and Blushing Bride for the flowers. And as always, these are my own designs. If you want to copy and share them, please do so. Just say where you learned the technique or you saw the card made. And if you do make them, please put the angel stamp on the back that just says all the supplies used were Stampin' Up supplies. Thanks everybody and have a great week. See you next week. Bye.